Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, or if you're watching this on Library, the name of my library channel is Comic Freak. Or if you're watching this on BitChute as well, my BitChute channel is also named Comic Freak. We have a couple of articles to read. Wrongthink Letterboxd bans Libertarian film critic. Letterboxd has banned the account of Prominent Film Society reviews, removing all 500 plus reviews posted on the site over the last few years. No notice of violation of terms and services was given to SR prior to the deletion, and no specific problematic content was flagged for author review. A troubling trend has emerged on the internet when it comes to how tech companies are allowing critics to discuss the arts. A certain orthodoxy and consensus must be adhered to under penalty of erasure from the conversation, especially when it comes to reading movies and books politically. Wrongthink is often purged quietly as to not discredit the censor, but it will backfire because it turns those marginalized voices into martyrs, leading more people to their message. But irony is often lost in the ideologically possessed. Someone at Letterboxd was obviously very unhappy about the opinions and views of society reviews towards certain films, even though a cursory glance at the content of their official site shows only insightful commentary that just comes from another perspective. What is actually funny is that when Letterboxd actually banned Society Reviews is actually an African American reviewer of movies. So they've actually banned a minority, someone these people want to protect so badly. Letterboxd reached out to Society Reviews to confirm that their account had been deleted for the following reason, according to them. Your account was removed from our service because several of your reviews were in serious breach of our community policy. Ah yes, the old hate speech excuse without showing the actual utterance that was so egregious. Be sure to add Society Reviews to your bookmarks and check in their content regularly for the alternative views on movies from a libertarian perspective. Now we're going to look at an article that Society Reviews released on a website explaining what has happened to him. We won't look at the entire article, but just the most important parts in my opinion. Add Jacob Smith to the growing list of people who've been banned, even though they've done nothing wrong but speak their own opinions. The Libertarian film critic oversees Society Reviews. The website critique movies from an unabashedly right-of-center perspective. Smith also shares hundreds of his film reviews with the popular social media site Letterboxd.com, or at least he did. The service allows folks who may not have their own media outlets a chance to share reviews with the public. Smith recently got booted from Letterboxd.com, which removed all of his reviews without notice. Hit reached out to Smith to find out the story behind the purge. Hit, you've been posting your reviews at Letterboxd as well as your site for some time. Why? Jacob Smith. Well, Letterboxd was initially recommended to me by fellow movie reviewers a couple of years ago. It was a place to post movie opinion and build a following, so it sounded simple enough. At the time, I was looking for a way to better utilize my film reviews and build a following outside of my main site. Hit, have you had any issues, clashes with Letterboxd before the recent dust-up? Smith, there was nothing too explosive that comes to my mind. Usually if I give a Christian movie a solid review, there would be some atheist reviewers who would object to my opinion. But outside of the occasional okay boomer response, there were no huge dust-ups. I would go even further to say that for every negative comment I got, there was also positive ones, so there was a good balance of the two. It sounds like a good relationship, but when he gave his opinions on movies that they didn't like, they canceled him and basically removed him from their service. Hit, how were you notified alerted to your reviews going missing on the site? Smith, I wasn't. So last week I was trying to log in to add some entries for the last two films I reviewed, Gretel and Hansel and the Rhythm section. As I tried to access my account, it's telling me my password is incorrect. I thought to myself that was odd because I hadn't changed it. So then I tried to reset my password and it's telling me that my account no longer exists. It was then that I found out my entire account had been deleted. Nearly 500 reviews, including a few that I had written exclusively for Letterboxd. There was a follower of mine who was booted from Letterboxd a year ago under similar circumstances, and right there I knew they had banned me from the site. Hit, did the company explain the removal initially, or did they respond only after you inquired about the situation? Smith, I didn't receive a word from the company, not a warning or a notice. I emailed their help desk and straight up asked them what had happened. I was told, and I quote you, your account was removed from our service because several of your reviews were in serious breach of our community policy. He violated your community policy, a policy that can include anything, and you destroy all of his hard work that probably brought in business for you from readers who read his reviews then stuck around to read other reviews. You just get rid of him because he violated your community policy. Then they told me that the rule I broke allegedly was promoting engaging or inciting hate violence, discrimination, or intolerance, including based on race, age, gender identity, ethnicity, religion, disability, or sexual orientation. So after being told that me, a black libertarian film critic, was guilty of promoting hate and discrimination via the platform of mainstream movie reviews, I had a good 10 to 15 minute laugh. He then asked them which reviews, since there were several according to them, violated the TOS, terms of service, and why wasn't I made aware of this beforehand. They refused to answer any of my follow-up questions. That's because their terms of service can include anything, and that means they can just rewrite or just enforce those terms of service to include anything so they can go after anybody. Because they're written in such a way as they can be enforced like this, because they don't want to be able to have to really work to basically ban someone. Editor's note. Hit reached out to Letterboxd for comment on this story. The site has yet to respond. It wasn't until I got a message from my follower on Letterboxd that apparently someone within the company took exception to my Queen and Slam review. That was posted back in December, where I called Black Lives Matter themes of the film radical and exhausting, not to mention a fundamental failure of a romance movie. That likely led to my removal from Letterboxd. So a black man calling Black Lives Matter basically trash, and they can him. Of course, that's what these people would do. But either way, let's move on. Hit, will you protest the matter, or will this be the end of your ties to the company? Will you be sharing your reviews at other film sites? Smith, I thought about it, but the sad reality is once you're on these people's radar, they don't stop coming after you. I feared that I could use my resources and connections to make a big stink about this, and at least force Letterboxd to make a formal explanation for my removal that wasn't written by someone with an anime avatar in their profile. Even if they reinstated me, what happens when the new Bond movie comes out later this year? And I have some not-so-nice opinions about the screenwriter who's quickly become Hollywood's new feminist golden duck. I know what was actually written there, but I'm just making fun of her. We are right back to square one. So yes, I have no plans to waste my time and effort to build a following on a site that doesn't want me there, and will just be looking for a new excuse to get rid of me. He goes on a bit more about how he'll be sharing his reviews elsewhere, and he's open to shill for anyone as a free agent, but otherwise he's not going back to Letterboxd, and I say that's good for him. Hit, will you be adapting and changing your critical approach to the future? Smith, well, when I first started reviewing films 4 years ago, my approach was vastly different from how I do it today. What happened after Donald Trump started running for president? The political nature of the industry changed in a flash. I didn't start society reviews with the intention of being political, but as a film and film opinion got so politically diverse, I felt I had no choice but to be honest and call films out for what they were. I've always looked at films with the average moviegoer in mind. Even if something isn't my cup of tea, would the average Joe or Jane still enjoy it? But if you're going to release the film that lectures the audience rather than entertain them, I have to call you out on it. As we've seen, there aren't many reviewers like us that do, and when we do, there is a clear resistance against it, meaning our opinions do hold a fair bit of weight, otherwise they wouldn't be trying so hard to shut us up. So for the question, I'll try to watch my language, but I'll never watch my opinion. What can I say? Once again, we have someone who proves that a leftist website is nothing but trash. Letterboxd probably should be worried that it's going to start losing its viewers. I mean, it's been woke for years, but apparently up till now it hasn't done anything truly bad. But Letterboxd has truly shown its colors when it turned its back on Jacob Smith here and canned the poor man because he's an honest reviewer and we need more of those. So I really hope he does better in the future. And I hope Letterboxd just folds in on itself and dies. If you like this video, subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You. Then go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Also, please go over to Library and subscribe to my Library channel. It is also named Comic Freak. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. Also, could you please share this video? Share it on Twitter, share it on Reddit, and share it on Facebook. Share it anywhere you think it'll do the most good because YouTube is going around and not promoting their own YouTube creators anymore. So please, share this video. Now listen closely, it's that time of the day again, it's plug-in time. Keep checking back in all my future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.